All right, so I hope you all are doing great. Um, I was thinking we should look at some math today. I don't know, you guys are thinking, how you guys are feeling, but let's just get right into it because I said we don't have too much time. And I think I had promised to do a math session. It's been a while, so yeah, I just hope everyone's doing great. I hope your prep is going great. Um, I'm going to open. I was looking at the videos on YouTube channel, and I don't think anyone. I don't think we've done any of us as tutors have gone over um, an actual SAT practice test from the new practice test. I mean, maybe some questions, but I was trying to see how we can cover some questions. And I I actually haven't to be honest, I actually like today's first time looking at the actual a new SAT, so hopefully that gives you guys a bit more confidence, um, that we can do this together. So I'm gonna be looking at it today, and let me just open up the test and then share my screen. Okay, one moment. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Uh,
Yes, sir.
all right, that's awesome. Okay, so again, I've obviously browsed through the new digital SAT just to see what to see the changes so that I can try to best adapt as we're going through lessons. But again, today is my first time actually looking at um actual questions, like actually trying to solve them. I think that's going to be good for class, just to hope give you guys a bit more confidence. That the SAT shouldn't be too hard. Uh, yeah, if I fumble, we'll see. But yeah, let's see how it's gonna go. Let's see how it's gonna go. Again, I hope you all everyone's feeling good and doing well in the preparation. Feel free to stop me if I say something that doesn't make too much sense, and feel free to ask me to repeat or slow me down, speed me up. It's all good. Okay, so in the new SAT, if I'm not mistaken, you can use a calculator for for both sections, right? For both modules, module 1 and 2. So yeah, user calculator is permitted for all questions. So feel free if you have a calculator. Um, do you guys all have a pen and paper? Just I would recommend that because I think we're gonna do a lot of just in case you want to follow through. I'm going to give you guys maybe 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. Those who might not have pen or pencil, paper, or just anywhere to write, just in case you need to follow through your calculator as well, or whatever might be helpful to you. So I'll just give 2 minutes, and then let's see what we do. Okay, so for whoever just joined, I think it's saved as user. I was just telling everyone else, feel free to grab a pen, paper, pencil, uh, anything to just jot down certain things that you might need to in case you need to. Let's see what we can do. Yeah. All right. Let's get started. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the first question, this looks pretty simple. What is 10% of 470? Which calculator? Feel free to use that if that makes you feel comfortable. But already see that our answer is going to be 47. So a shortcut I can give you guys is whenever you see 10% of something and you got a zero, then just take out the zeros. For example, if you had 3,960, 10% of this would be 386. So what is 10% of 47? 473.7. Hope that makes sense. Feel free to verify with the calculator if you have doubts. Basically, just you're taking down the zero, or you're dividing it by 10. So if we had a number like, let's say 856, 10% of this would be 85.6. That's pretty much how it works. But otherwise, you can do just the regular way, which is 10%, which is 10 over 100 times 470, right? Cross that out. You know, 10 over 10 is the same as 1, so 7. Or you can do 10%, which is 10 over 100 is 0.1, so 0.1 times 470, and you're going to find out that's 47. Everyone okay? So far, so good? Okay, it's a tough crowd.
Yes,
yeah? Okay. That's cool. Jerome. All right, so which equation has the same solution as a given equation? All right, so we have this, and the first thing that comes to my mind is simplifying this, right? This whole equation can be divided by 2. So we can have 2x3 is equal to 9. But looking at the solutions, I don't think we have to do that. So one trick with the actual SAT is feel free to use, make sure you're able to use the answer choices. Okay, so when I was learning the SAT, one of my tutors, for math, this was a while back. He's now like a brother to me. But I remember when he was teaching me this, he told me every math SAT question can be answered in 30 seconds. And I was the first time he said that, I was like, what's this guy saying? But with time, I've got to realize and actually accept that every math SAT question can be done in 30 seconds, and not necessarily with formulas. A lot of questions can be answered intuitively. You just need to always practice, because remember, the SAT is a standardized exam, right? So by virtue of it being standardized, it's got patterns. It's predictive. It repeats itself pretty much. So you can kind of like anticipate what your exam will look like. And so one of the things with the SAT, I know even with the old SAT, and I'm assuming we can do that with new SAT, is use your answer choices to guide you, right? So like I said, one thing I would think of initially is to simplify this by looking at all the answer choices being 4x expressed, 4x as 4x is equal to something. Then we can just the other side, and we have 4x is equal to 12. So our answer should be C, right? So again, this only takes a couple of seconds. You don't actually have to solve this, but we can just observe this, right? So you can subtract 6 this side, subtract 6 that side. Or if you want, you can think it as taking 6 the other side, it becomes negative. So our answer is C. All right. We're good?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So considering the crowd is a bit tough today, you guys don't seem like talking today. You may be coming late, but I'm just gonna keep on going then. Okay, so maybe this is how you guys want to play. Maybe I just keep on going, and let me know if you have any questions. Stop me if you don't understand. If you need me to solve this another way, just let me know. All right. So the total cost in dollars to rent a surfboard costs $25 of service fee. Okay, so we're always going to pay $25 regardless, and then there's a $10 per hour rental fee. Okay, so $10 for every hour. Okay, let's do it like that. A person rents a surfboard for T hours. Okay, so used T hours, so we can change H to T actually, and intends to spend a maximum of, so whatever they spend should be less or equal to 75. What inequality represent? Oh, okay, that's right there. D. Any problems with this one? So we have $10 for every hour. So for example, so there's a service fee of 25. So go ahead. Someone was about to say something. I just said, Okay, I guess we're ready. You've changed your mind. Oh, was that?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
What was that?
It's fine. You can continue.
You understand? You're good?
It's fine. You can continue.
Yeah, I'm saying you understand. Are you good? You understand?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Don't feel shy. It's a safe space.
Yes.
All right. Okay, great.
Thank you.
So, for sure. So, for example, so we have $25, which is a service fee, right? So, and then we charge the charge is $10 per hour. So, for example, we only rented the surfboard for 1 hour, so it's $10 for each hour. So if we rented it for 1 hour, we're only going to pay $10 for 1 hour, and of course the service fee. Okay, so it means we're going to pay 10 plus 25, 35. So which sense? So if let's say we replace T for 1, it's going to be 10, which is 10 plus 25, which is 35. And we know that this, however many hours, this person only has maybe $75. So that's a maximum. So we can represent this situation like that. Let's look at our question. The function g of x is defined, function g is defined by g of x. Okay, so George says he can't get me. Is everyone else at the beginning? Was that a yes? If you guys are able to hear me, please say something.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, oh, George hasn't even connected his audio. All right, let me just tell George connect to the audio. All right, let's carry on. All right, so we are looking at question 4. I'm talking. Okay, so we're looking at question 4. So it says the function g is defined by g of x is equal to x squared plus 9, for which value is g of x, which is the whole x squared plus 9, for which value of x is g of x equal to 25. All right. All right. George can hear us now, guys. That's great. Awesome. All right. So for which, great to have you, George. So for which value of
Choice
x
A.
is g of
Choice A, sir. G of 4.
4? Okay, so let's see, 25, 9, 16, 4. Yeah, that's actually correct. Awesome. I love that. Okay, now the energy is back. This is what I was looking for, guys. All right, so we have x squared plus 9, right, which is g of x. And we've been told that g of x is equal to 25. So these are the same thing. So what values of x is g of x equal to 25? So we take away 9 from both sides, right? 25 minus 9, or you can say take 9 outside, becomes negative, however you want to look at it. So 25 minus 9 here would be 16. So we have x squared is equal to 16, and we know the square root of 16 is plus minus 4. But we only have positive 4, so our answer is definitely A. So I think that was Alden. Yeah, definitely correct. All right, so again, because you guys aren't as responsive today before weren't at first, so I'm just going to go for it, and you guys let me know if there's something you don't understand. Yep.
My apologies. I just got here.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate that.
My phone right now. I didn't know what's going on. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. You're good. You're good. Thanks for coming. Excuse me. if you don't understand something, please let me know. Again, just for emphasis, if I'm too fast, please slow me down. Too slow, speed me up, etc. All right. So each face of a 14-sided die is labeled with the number from 1 through 14 with a different number appearing on each face, right? So 14 sides, then each side has got a different number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 14. If the die is rolled one time, what is the probability of rolling it to? What do you guys think the answer is here? It's pretty interesting question.
It's 1 over 14. There's only one. It depends. Each side has a different number. Only one of them can have a 2.
Exactly. Right. So probability is I don't know how you spell probability, but yeah, probability is. Let's come up with our own formula. I don't know why this is right again. Probability. Yep.
Number of
this.
How does that sound?
All right. So number of outcomes, right, over total number of desired outcomes, as you said, and then over to the number of outcomes, right? So
inside that is labeled with the number 1 through 14 with a different number appearing on each face. If the die
okay, George, I'm going to mute you. Thank you. Sorry. Yes. So the number of outcomes is 1, just like Alden said, right? There's only 1, 2, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 14. Each side has a different number, right? So we can only roll a 2 once, but then there's 14 other total outcomes. It could have been 1, it could have been 3, it could have been any number, right? So our answer is just 114, which is A. Is everyone okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so a printer produces posters at a constant rate of 42 posters per minute. At what rate in posters per hour does the printer produce posters? All right, so this is rates, this is proportions. We can just use ratios or like ratios, or we can cross multiply, however you want to look at it. So there's a rate of 42 posters per minute. So 42 posters every minute. But at what rate can we have posters for an hour? So an hour is 60 minutes. So if you can get 42 for every minute, then how many can we get for an hour, basically, or for 60 minutes? So we cross multiply. So if we cross multiply, we have x is equal to 42 by 60. Okay, feel free to use your calculator real quickly. 42 by 60 to 0, 2 times 6 is 12. 24, 0. Actually, let me just use a calculator. There you go. So 25, 20. All right. That's 42 by 60. So it means we have 25, 20 posters per hour. So our answer will be 25, 20. So you put the answer, you circle it. I think that's how the new SAT works, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Any questions? Everyone understood this? Okay, so I guess everyone understood it. Everyone's good. The function is defined by the equation. The function f is defined by the equation f of x is equal to 7x plus 2. What is the value of f of x when x is equal to 4? Okay, so we substitute x for 4. 7 by 4 is 28. That's 30.
30.
Yes, George. Thank you. The answer is 30, right? Yeah. Let's see if I can make this bigger. No, loving that. Let's see if I can make this. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I never got you. What you said?
Is it question 10, sir?
No, question 7.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So we have 7x plus 2, and it's asking us what's the value, what's the answer, what's the value of the function when x is 4. So 7 by 4 is 28 plus 2, so we have 30.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed that so far we haven't made any question that we can solve under 30 seconds? I don't know. Does anyone agree with me?
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember that, Auden. I think the only time we did math, I told you that one time someone told me he, you know, every question can be solved in 30 seconds, and I found it hard to believe, but I believe now. I'm a believer.
Yeah, when it comes to
Right. So a teacher is creating an assignment worth 70 points. The assignment will consist of questions worth 1 point, okay, and questions worth 3 points. Which of the equation represents this situation where x represents, okay, so x is those with 1 point. So we can write 1x, what 1x is just the same as x. And then those that are worth 3 points, y represents the number of 3-point questions. Sorry?
Choice B. No discussion. Choice B.
Okay, let's see. So x represents 1 point, so you can write 1x, write that. But then the ones that are worth 3 points are being represented by y. So we have 3y, and all these should be worth 70 points. Okay, so the answer is actually D. I think, is that what you said? You said D? You said D or B? Well, the answer is D. If you said D, then that's great. So x is representing 1 point, y representing the 3-point questions. So when you add them together, they should just equal 70 points. That's pretty much what the question is saying.
When I'm done with this.
Yeah, when he's done with that. All right, so we have right triangles LMN and PQR, and they're similar. Okay, so if they're similar, okay, L corresponds to M. Okay, great. So we have, let's do it like this. L, M, N, and PQR. So they're similar. So I'm going to have follow the same order. PQR. Okay, respectively. I'm going, and then L. Sorry?
The same 53.
Okay, let's see. So L and M correspond to P and Q. Okay, so L and M correspond to P and Q. Okay, great. So we could probably even have done this triangle like this. And we know that, so which means M is the same. Okay, and M is 53. Okay, angle M is 53. So if this was it's not a triangle. If this was 53, for whatever reason, or let's use this one. If this was 53, actually I've already used L, M, and N, but yeah. So let's say it's not the right triangle. So if this was 53, then it means this is 53 as well, because we could have probably drawn it like that. L, M, N, P, Q, R. Oh, it's a very bad art. But if these angles are, if the angles are corresponding, L, M, and N are corresponding to P, Q, and R, it means they're congruent, so they're similar, right? And then 53, if M is 53, Q is 53 as well, because it means we could have placed this triangle. If this was LMN, that placed P, Q as well here, and R in there, you know? Is everyone okay with this? So I didn't write the answer is 53. I'm not sure if that was out in the Jerome actually, but the answer is 53. Okay, awesome. Okay. So that was question 9. Okay, so question 10. The solution to the given system of equation is xy. What is the value of x? Okay, look at this. Look at these guys. Y is 3x. So the answer is 15. Wow. I don't know if you guys have seen what I've seen. But the answer is 15. Okay, because we know that y is equal to negative 3x, right? So we can, I think the easiest way to do this is by substitution. Okay, so y is the same as 3x. So 4x minus 3x is x, and x is 15. So the value of x is 15. So the answer is C. All right, you can solve it any other way, any other method, it should be good. Okay, encourage you to have your mics muted except when you're answering. Okay. Which of the following is the most appropriate linear model for the data shown in the scatter plot? All right. So one thing we know is that the y-intercept is when x is 0, that should be about 10 on 10. Okay, so 10.1. Okay, so all of them are about 10.1, but it should be positive. So we can take out A, we can cancel A and we can cancel B. I mean, we can cancel
Because is B,
A
sir.
and C. Yes. Okay, so
Because is C.
let's see. It's probably B, but let's confirm.
No.
So we can cancel
B, sorry.
A. Yep. Was that Jerome?
No, Aline, sir. A B answer, sir.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. Gotcha. So I could go back. So hold up. Yeah. So we know that the intercept when x is 0, the y-intercept, we have the y-intercept, we can see it's 10. It's going to be about 10.1, I guess. This is at 10.1 anyway. But it has to be positive. So the fact that A and C are negative, we can just cross them out. Now we're left with B and D. But notice something. The graph is going in this direction and not in that direction. When we have a graph going in this direction, what does this say about the slope or the gradient? Does anyone know?
So that means that the gradient is negative.
Okay. What did you say, Jerome?
So I was saying, does that mean that the gradient is negative?
Exactly, right? The gradient slope is negative, right? Here that we have a negative slope. Exactly. In this case, we have a positive slope. So we're looking at the question, we need a negative slope. So between B and D, the one with the negative slope is B. So B is our answer. Fairly straightforward question, right? Okay, so the graph shows this function. Have you noticed that? Okay, it's important to read the questions properly, but by now you can call it as a graph. This one.
C, 3.
Okay, so let's see. For how many values of x is the function equal to 0? Okay, yeah, so you're right, because there's 3 solutions here. At x is equal to y is equal to 0, sorry. Because remember, f of x, I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but there's this thing that says, I mean, when you're doing functions, I'm sure you guys have seen this. There's a thing that is, what can I write? Hold up. Okay. So there's a thing that's f of x is equal to y. So if f of x is equal to 0, it means y is equal to 0. This and y is equal to 0. So our solution here, so you're right. Answer is 3. So yeah, there we go. So that's question 12. Let's look at question 13. I don't know if my service is bad, and I'm noticing that things are loading up on the screens more slowly. All right. So it says Vivian bought $3. Okay. So each hat was $3. And each cupcake cost $1. So I just say plus C, or we can say one.
Sir, she bought 41 of them.
Exactly. That's correct. Okay, I think there's something wrong. Okay, I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, great. I think there's something wrong with my other device because I'm using two devices right now. Okay, yeah. So the answer was 41, right? Because we have 3 hats. Oh, $3 per hat, and then we have $1 copy, so 3H plus C, and that's we agreed that that's equal to 271, and we know that if she bought 10 hats, we can substitute H for 10, and then that will be 30 plus C equal to 71. This would be 71 minus 30, which is 41. So that's our answer for 41. Circle the 41. All right, great. Let's go to question 14.
X equals negative 12.
Moving. Let's see.
Z equal negative 12, sorry.
Yeah. So it's probably 2 or 12, right? Okay. Yes. Okay. Just breaking each
Can you
other.
explain?
Sir.
Yeah. So, right?
Sir, could you work that out? Because I don't get
Okay. So
Can you
this
explain,
is,
sir?
Go ahead.
All right, so here's my explanation. We see that our C value is negative 24 and our middle value is positive 12. So we need two values, one negative and one positive.
Then
We also need our positive value to be our positive value to be the larger amount since our middle value is positive. So factors of 24 that would fit this bill would be 2 and 12. So the factors will be x minus 2 by x plus 12. If one of the factors is x plus 12, it means that x is equal to negative 12. You there?
essentially what I'm saying is this, right? And that's brilliant. Thank you, Pat Alden. All right, so that's correct. All right, so what's happening is, I think my thing is acting too slow. Okay, great. So happening is this is a quadratic equation actually, right? So it's the same thing as, for example, if you had x squared minus 10x minus 24. So basically, this is a quadratic, and when the c value is negative 24, right? Just like Alden said, and then the b value here, because remember this is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So the b value is 10. So we need numbers that multiply. They should multiply to negative 24, and they should add up to positive 10, right? So we can quickly look at the factors. If we want to, 1 by 24, 2 by 12. Okay, we have our answer, right? So we know that if we get negative 12, if we get positive 12 and we get negative 2, right? The sum is going to be 10, positive 10, okay? So that makes sense. And then if we get 12 by negative 2, our product will be negative 24. So that's correct. So now we can split this quadratic into z minus 2 and z plus 12, because these are the two factors we found, negative 12, negative 2 and positive 12. And then we just equate that to 0. So the value is going to be 2 and negative 12. Does that make sense, Jerome?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm glad. All right. And then we have question 15. Bacteria are growing in a liquid growth medium. There were 300,000 cells per milliliter during an initial observation. The number of cells per milliliter doubles every 3 hours. how many cells per milliliter would there be 15 hours after the initial observation? All right. So, let me just move this. Can I move? Okay, great. So let's see. So there's many ways we can do this. Let me show you the easiest way. I don't know if you guys are thinking of this. The easiest to do this would be, this is probably the easiest way.
Sir, I think the answer is A.
I think the answer is A. A looks a bit too small, but let's find out. Let's find out.
Actually, me,
Sorry?
I think it's C.
C might be,
I
but
agree.
let's find out. Let's find
Okay.
out. I don't know. You guys, I don't know how you guys, I know I move quick. I think you guys are moving super quick. So let's find out anyway. Let's find out. So initially at 0, we have 300,000. Okay, I'm just going to be writing 300. I'm using my, I can't draw nicely now because I'm using a laptop. Okay, and then after 3 hours, we have a double. So that becomes 600, right? 1,000, of course. And after another 3 hours, so 6 hours, we have double, 600, double B 1,200 like that. And after another
Yeah, the
3
answer is
hours, so that's 9.
B, sir. Sir?
Okay, let's
The answer is actually
see.
D.
So yeah, I think answer will be D. So we have 2,400 right here. And after 12, we have 4,800. Of course, that's 4,800,000. But you get what I'm saying. I'm just remove some numbers. And after 15 hours, we're going to have 48. 48 double 48 is 96. So 9,600. But if you notice from the word go, I removed 3 zeros, right? So there's 3 zeros in. So my answer is D. So that's the simplest way to do it. But and I remember I told you something about the SATs. You have to try to be you don't have to be too technical, right? You don't have to be too technical with it. Whatever leads you to your answer, right? It doesn't really matter. Just getting to your solution and everything. The quickest way, right? But if you want to look at this with a formula, so the way I would do this would be the way I do this would be, there's a certain equation about exponential growth is something like this. So you have your initial value A, your rate, and then your time as a T. So in this case, our initial value will be 300,000, 300,000, and our rate will be 2 because it's doubling. But it's doubling every 3 hours. So if I leave it like this is as good as 2 to the power 1. This means it's doubling every hour, but that's not true. It's doubling every 3 hours. So we need to make it 1/3. The reason why we're making 1/3 is because if we substitute not 1/3, sorry, x/3. Let's do that. So we're making it x/3. Now the reason why we're making it x/3 is because if we substitute, let me make the x a bit more neat. Let's try to make it neater. Try to make that neater. The reason why we're doing x/3 is because if we substitute x for 3, right, we're going to have 3/3, which means 1, right? So we can't leave it as 300,000 and then it's doubling. The reason why is because if we say that, it means it's doubling every hour because this is 2 to the power 1. But if we say x/3, it means after 3 hours, if we put x here as 3, it will double. After 6 hours, this would be 6/3, which is 2. It means we'll have doubled twice. Does that make sense? Is that who didn't understand what I've just said? Or if you understand, say I understand. Just real quick.
I got you.
Okay, awesome. Awesome, that's beautiful. All right, so it means because if we just leave it as double, like this in the regular form, it means it's doubling the hour, but it's doubling every 3 hours. So we need to put the time over 3, so that after 3 hours it actually doubles, right? So after 3/3 it becomes 1, and now it doubles instead of just 2 to the power 1, which is double the hour, which is not true. Right. So x of 3, but what's our x now in this case? Our x is 15. 15/3 is the same as 5. So this is as good as 300,000 times 2 to the power 5. 2 to the power 5, we might know this is 32. So we do 32 by 300,000. And by 32 is going to be 96, right? 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 by 3 is 9. So we're gonna have a 96, and then we get our zeros. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. So answer is D. Again, there's so many ways to solve this. The first one was probably just the first method was probably just the easiest way. But however you do it, I don't think it really matters. Okay. So, what are we doing now? Oh, question 16. Which expression is equivalent to 6x to the 8 y squared plus 12x squared y squared? All right, so we're probably just factorizing this. Looking at our answer choices, I'm guessing we're just going to factorize it. What's common here? We have a 6 being common on both sides. We have x to the 8 and x squared, so we have to get x squared because
you can get x squared and you can get y squared as well.
And we can get y squared as well, right? Because there's y squared here and there's y
So
squared
the
there.
bracket, we
And
will
then
have x to the 6. No, x to the 4,
Yep.
sorry.
No, yeah, so it'll actually be x to the 6. So x to the, if you say x to the 4, when you've got the same base, you add the exponents, right? So this means x to the 6. But we need to put x to the 6 so that when we add them, 6 plus 3 is 8. It's kind of like x times x. This is x squared, right? The reason why this is x squared is because you're adding 1 plus 1, right? So we're adding 2 plus 6, and that becomes 8. So that's what's happening here. So we factorize x squared, which is common in both. Because if we put x to the 8, we won't be able to factor out anything here because this is higher. So we need to get x squared, and then we need to get y squared. So what's remaining here? 6 into 6 is 1. So there's kind of a 1 there. Then we have x to the 6, because y squared into y squared is 1. Same with this side. But 6 to 12 is 2. But then the x squared and the y squared is already covered there at one time. Hopefully that makes sense. Everyone's good?
Yes, sir. Makes perfect sense.
Sure.
All right. So answer is C, right? I wish I told you guys to be taking record of the answer. Is anyone taking record of the answers so we can confirm one of that? But we're good. Okay, I'm guessing no one is taking the record of the answers. I should have told you guys to do that. Anyway, so a neighborhood consists of a 2-hectare park and a 35-hectare residential area. So the total number of trees in the neighborhood is 394. Okay, so there's going to be like 2 times something plus 35 times. Oh, it's right here. The question is 2 plus 35y is 3934. These are the number of trees. So it means 2 times the number of trees from this residential park, and 35 by of trees this residential area will give you a total number of 394. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the x? Okay, so can anyone tell me what can you guys is right away without wasting too much? Choice
A.
Exactly, right? Because it can be the 2, because the total trees is 394. So anything with total, we can kind of forget about that. So the total number of trees in the park 394. So that's not C. The total number of trees in the residential area. The residential area, the total number is going to be 35 times Y. Right? 35Y for the residential area. This is for the park. So the 35 times Y will be the total number of trees in the residential area. But we're looking at the X. X is attached to the park. say the Hold on, I think I was having bad service. Can you guys hear me?
What happened, sir?
Wow. Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine, just not seeing your screen.
Yeah, I noticed that for some reason my snap. I don't know how I'm going to join this. For some reason my service just go bad and that happened. So now I'm gonna have to join the videos, or maybe I'll split them and post them as part 1 and part 2. I guess I'll do that. Yeah, all right, great. So we had just sorry for that interruption. We had just agreed that the answer was A, and that's because the X is representing 3934 is representing the total number of trees, right? So this is not C. The total number of trees in the residential area is going to be, we're going to look at this part in the residential area. So it's going to be 35 by something. So in this case, 35 by Y. And then, so I can actually cross out residential area answers as well, leaving us with A. Another way to think of it is the total number of trees in the park, which is a 2-hectare park, is going to be 2 times something, in this case 2x. It's going to be the total number of trees. But the x itself is representing the average number of trees. So if we had, I was saying before it cut out, if we had 10 trees, then it means the total number of trees will be 20. All right. Everyone good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, question 18. The graph shows the relationship between the number of shares of stock from company A, which is the x-axis, and company B, which is on the b-axis, that Simon can purchase. Which equation represents the relationship? All right, let's go. So we can see that already we've got 2 points here: the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and the x-intercept. So we've got 0,40, and we've got 60,0. Do you guys agree?
Yes, sir. We got those.
All right, I'm going to bring that to my left side. So we're trying to find the equation of the line. So we can simply just find what's the gradient. So the gradient, we can do y, right? The gradient is y values, x values, right? So 40 minus 0 is 40. 0 minus 60 is negative 60. So our answer is negative 2 over 3. Okay, so it means y is equal to negative 2 over 3x plus, what's our value of C? Our value of C is 40, right? Our y-intercept is 40, right?
Yeah.
So we don't see any answer choice like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to multiply. I'm going to multiply all this by 3. Okay, actually, let's put this together first. Let's put the y's and x's together. So this becomes positive. Is equal to 40, right? And then what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 3 to get rid of this fraction. So we have 3y plus 2x is equal to 120. All right. Looking at the answer choices, none of this is the answer. So it means, okay, so answer is B. Sorry?
You're right, sir. None of those suit the bill per se, but one of those choices are multiple of those. So.
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. So the answer choices are just a multiple, because if you get a multiple of a graph, it's going to be the same equation. It's going to be the same if you had to plot a graph, for example, 5x is equal to 10, and you plot 10x is equal to 20. When you multiply an equation and you plot it, it will just be the same graph. So we're just going to look for which one is like this, right? So we can see that the first one is this is different. Okay, the reason why I saw the answer was B is because look at this. If we multiply 2 by 4, we have 8x, 3 by 4, we have 12x, and 120 by 4, or 12 by 4, we have 48. So 480. So this is just a multiple of this equation. So our answer is B, because it's the same thing. So it was easy for me because I saw that the y was multiplied by something, 2 was multiplied by something. Here I see y is alone, so I knew our answer has to be B or D. And then I had to see now in terms of multiples. So it was easy to see that B was just a multiple of our answer. Is everyone okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so circle A has a radius of 3n, and circle B has a radius of 129, and n is a positive constant. The area of circle B is how many times the area of A?
Choice A.
The area is pi r squared, correct? Radius is 3n, so 3n squared. And for B, we have pi, the radius is 129, and so squared. So this would be pi 9n squared, and this would be pi, let me get my calculator, what's 129 squared? Okay, that's 16,641. So 16,641 n squared. All right, Tao, you can chill before you write on the screen. All right, so the radius of B is how many times the radius of A? So how do you guys think we can find this answer?
Sir, divide radius of B
Exactly.
divide the area of B by the area of A. And that will leave us
Right, so
the 1849.
okay, so we divide this. So basically 16,641 divided by 9, right? And that's 1849. So our answer is actually D. Thank you. All right, awesome. Everyone's good? Sorry? Okay.
Hell, man.
Okay, you're good, Tao. Question 20. The frequency table summarizes the 57 data values in the dataset. What is the maximum data value in the dataset? Okay, so what is the maximum data value? Okay, so the highest is 14. It's actually even arranged in order. This is such an easy question, right? What's the maximum? What's the highest data value? What's the highest data value? You go to the set, and guess what? It's been arranged in order, so it's 14. So just put out 14 there, circle it, we're good to go. All right, a circle in the XY plane have you guys noticed that so far, like every question has been kind of calm? It's been calm, it's been chill. Is there any question that any of you have found to be particularly confusing? Are we good?
Yeah, we good.
All right, so making sure. I hope this is how you guys feel when you're practicing. I know it used to be kind of pissing off for me because like I'll be practicing with my tutor and everything makes sense, but when I'm alone, it's like what's going on? Anyway, that was years ago. A circle in the XY plane has a diameter endpoints of 2, 4, and 2, 14. An equation of this circle is x minus 2 squared and y minus 9 squared is equal to r squared, where r is a positive constant. What is the value of r? So what's the value of r? So I'm seeing so many ways in which you can solve this. Does anyone want to go ahead, or just does anyone want to say something, or I can go ahead? All right, I'll go ahead. So the radius is we've been told that the diameter. Okay, so the endpoints are 2,4 and 2,4. An XY plane. Let's say this was 2,4 here, 2,4, and then we had 2,14, 2,14. So let's say this was this it's an ugly circle, but as long as you guys get the point. Can this thing draw? Wait, no. So something like this. Okay, let's say that was a circle. Right. So the radius is just going to be the distance in the middle, right? It can be from anywhere, but the radius is just the distance to the center of the circle. So if we have 2,4 and 2,14, we notice that the x is just there. But what's changing is the y-axis, the 14 and the 4. So if we found what's 14 minus 4? 14 minus 4 is 10, right? So this distance is pretty much 10. So if we divide this into 2, our midpoint will be 5. So our actual answer is 5. That's one way. That's our radius. That's the easiest way, just a couple of seconds and you're done. Another way you can solve this is we can find the midpoint.
That one, sir?
Have you guys ever learned about repeat the first thing I said or the midpoint thing? Okay,
the first thing.
Okay, got you. So I was saying if we had to plot this, right? Let's imagine let's try to plot this. Let's try to plot this. So we have 1, so we have 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say, not drawn to scale. So we have 2, okay, understood, Jerome. Understood. All right, so we have 2,4 here. If you can manage, if you have to go, I get it. If you can manage to finish it, that would be great. We're left with 6 questions. And then we have 2,14. So the circle is going to be something like this, roughly, right? Just an example. This is an ugly circle. It'll probably be wider, but you get the point, right? Yeah, because these are the endpoints. So what I was saying is, if this is 2,14, we're trying to find the radius, and this is 2,4. If we find the what's in the center, that's the radius, right? Because the radius is just the distance, the circle to the center at any point. So we notice that this is one line. X is equal to 2 here. X is equal to 2. This line is just the same. But the distance is changing. The shift is on the y-axis. So between 14 and 4, what's the distance? What's the change? What's the shift? It's 10. So what's half of 10? Half of 10 is 5. So the radius would be actually at around 9. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. So our radius can be at the point 2,9 actually, if we want to look at it like that. But my point is, what's the actual radius? So the radius is 5. So that's one way. There's so many ways to do this. The radius is, we've been told this has a diameter. Endpoints are these. Do you guys ever learn about distance? So distance formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So let's find the distance, and then we find the halfway point. So let's find the distance, the diameter. So x2 minus x1, which is 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 squared is the same as 0. So we have 0 minus 0 squared plus y2 minus y1, which is 14 minus 4 squared. So 0 minus 0 squared is just 0. 14 minus 4 is 10 squared, right? This is the same as 100. Square root of 100 is 10. So that's the diameter. But the radius is half of the diameter, right? Or the diameter divided by 2. All right, so that means our radius is 5. That's another way. There's so many ways to do this. Another way to do this would have been to find the midpoint between this. So if you guys, have you guys ever learned about midpoint?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do x1 plus x2, right? Divided by 2, and then you get the y values as well, divided by 2. So you get x1 is 2, x2 is 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4, divided by 2. And then the y values, you put 4 and 14. So 4 plus 14, which is 18. So 2 divided by 2 by 4 is 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So you've got 2,9. This is the midpoint. But what's, oh, come on. Okay, so you've got 2,9, which is the midpoint. And then you have so that's the midpoint. And then the lower value is 2,4. The upper value is 2,14. So you notice that there's no shift in the x-axis, but the y has moved by 5 to get to 9, and it's moved by 5 to get to 14. There's so many ways to solve these questions, guys. I'm just trying to show you different ways, but I hope everyone is okay with it. Whatever works for you, whatever is fastest, just go with it. The measure of angle R is 2 pi over 3 radians. The measure of T is 5 pi 12 radians more or greater than the measure of angle R. Okay, what is the measure of angle T in degrees? It's funny because sometimes they put these things with an underline just to emphasize it, but it's easy to miss these things sometimes. So we've got 2 pi over 3. R is 2 pi over 3, but T is 2 pi over 3 plus 5 pi over 12. So let's add this. Right, highest common factor or lowest common denominator rather, that is 12. So 3 into 12 is 4. 4 by 2 pi is 8 pi. 12 into 12 is 1. 1 times 5 pi is 5 pi. So we have 13 pi over 12. But remember, we need to convert this into degrees. And we know that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. So now we're trying to find out what 3 pi over 12 is equal to in degrees. So we can cross multiply, or we just go straight away. This is going to be equal to 180 over pi. If you know the formula. 12 into 18 is 1, remainder 6. 12 into 60 is 5. So 15, what's 15 times 13? Let's see, 15 times 13 is 195. So our answer is C. Is everyone okay with that?
Yes, sir. But couldn't we do it another way where we could just transfer everything to degrees first?
Yes, we can do that. Actually, let's do that if you want to. So you've got 2 pi over 3, right? So we convert this to degrees, which means we'll multiply by 180 over pi, right? 3 into 18 is 6. So 60. 60 times 2. So the first one is 120 degrees. Right? So R is, this is the same as 120. And then 5 pi over 12. So 12 is 1, remember 6. This is 15. 15 by 5 should be 225, I think. Oh, 75 rather, sorry. It's a bad math. So 75. So we know that this is R, and this is T. No. It says the angle T is 75. Let me erase that. That's not true what I just said. The angle T is 75 degrees more than R. So we just need to add this 120 plus 75. So we have 5. Let me do that rightly. 0 plus 5 is 5. 7 plus 2 is 9, and then we'll have 1, which is C. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So there's so many ways to solve this. All right. The certain town has an area of 4.36 we're only left with 4 questions. Have you noticed how we've actually moved quick because we've been explaining, we had one interruption. We started really late. But okay, so a certain town has an area of 4.36 square miles. What is the area in square yards of this town? So we're converting. The town has 4.36 square miles, right? That's the area. And we're trying to convert this into square yards. So there's so many ways to do this, guys. So many ways intuitively. You want to use a formula, whatever works for you. So we know that 1 mile, this is how I typically do such questions. 1 mile is equal to 1,760 yards. We're trying to convert 4.3 square miles into square yards. So let's try to find, we're trying to get square yards. So let's get square yards. So we know that if we square both sides, we can get square yards. So 1 squared is just going to be 1. Sorry?
The answer is D.
Yeah, most likely, because that's the only one that looks big enough. So let's find out, right? So we squared this side, 1 mile squared is going to be 1760 squared. Let me just check that on my calculator. Okay, so 1760 squared is 309,600 square yards. So we know that one square miles is equal to 3 million, right? 97,600 square yards. But we're trying to convert 4.3 square miles into square yards. So we put 4.36 on the side of square miles, and then we just cross multiply. So if we cross multiply, that answer there times 4.36, we have D. So our answer is D. That's one way. Let me show you guys another quick way. Another quick way you can do this. We have 1 mile and 4.36. Okay, 1 mile and 1760 yards. Okay, right? So okay, this is just going to be the same. It's going to be, I thought it would be a different thing, but well, the math is going to be the same. All right. Is everyone okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh, actually, maybe that would have been a bit different. Okay, well, it doesn't matter right now, so it's okay. So it says for the line H, the table shows 3 values. Okay, so this is line H, and it's got these 3 values: 18,130, 23,160, and 26,178. For line H, the table shows 3 values, X and the corresponding value Y. Line K is the result of translating. Okay, so if we had line H, line K is just the same line, but we take it 5 units down, okay, on the plane. So what's the x-intercept of line K? All right, so this might look confusing, but let's just find out what's the equation of line H anyway. So we've got 18,30 and, let's say we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's find out what is the gradient real quick. What's 130 minus 160? So y2 minus y1. 130 minus 160 is going to be negative 30. Right? Let me check out this 18. So it's going to be negative 30. And then we have 18 minus 3, which is negative 5, right? 18 minus 23, which is negative 5. So our gradient or our slope is 6. Right? So our equation is going to be y is equal to 6x plus, we don't know what our C is, right? Let's just say C for now. And then we're trying to, oh, wow. So there's actually 2 ways we can solve this. All right. Do you guys see the trick here?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Do you wanna join?
Given that the slope is continuous for all points, we could use any of the 3 points there to solve for C. So, for example, we can say 160 by 6 times 23, no, 160 is equal to 23 times 6.
6, right? Yeah. And then we can find the value of C, right?
Equals 138.
Perfect. So 6.
So it's 160 minus 138 will
okay.
give us C.
There you go. 138, and he took it that side. So we had 160 minus 1. I'm mistaken. 22.
So why is not 22?
Yeah. 22 is the intercept of H. This is H. Remember, this equation was H.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's
if the y-intercept is 22, so K is H, but K is 5 units down. So which means for K, our y is going to be 22 minus 5. So it's going to be 20. Is that okay? This was 22. For K is going to be 17 because it's 22 minus 5.
Yep.
Properly. You guys,
And if you want to be sure of
so
the x-intercept, what is x when y equals 0?
exactly. So there you go. I love seeing this. Great. So we have y is equal to mx plus b or plus c in this case. We had x plus 17, right? Asking now what you just said. What are we trying to find? We're trying to find the x-intercept, which means that y is 0, right? So this means 6x equal to negative 17. X is going to be negative 17 over 6. So negative 17 over 6, and our y is 0 because we already know y is 0. So our answer is
And
going
the
to be
question
B.
has been
Is
nailed.
that okay?
Yes, sir.
Here you go. All right. And then we have okay, so let's leave 2 more questions. Good. That's good. Less than 2 hours, eh? Less than our time. Okay, so in the xy plane, the graph of the equation negative x squared. Graph of the equation y is equal to negative x squared plus 9x minus 106 the line, y is equal to c at exactly 1 point. What is the value of c? All right. So you just need to understand what's going on. Or I guess we should understand what's going on. But what I mean is, you guys see that if you guys have a quadratic equation,
I think I know what we need to do, sir.
a curve rather. Yeah.
Sir, we need to transform this into vertex form.
Exactly. What do you know why we have to do it in the vertex form?
Why we put it into vertex form? Because the vertex form will have the minimum or the maximum. In this case, the maximum value, and y will be equal to that maximum value.
Y is equal to minimum value, yeah. And the reason why you're doing it in vertex form is because if you have a curve, like in this case it's negative, so the curve goes like this. Intersecting a line at exactly 1 point, it means this is going to be a straight line. So this y value constant wherever it intersects line, and the y value is the same. So it's going to be, that's why they say y is equal to c, because it's just a y line. It's going to be but in this case, it's at 1 point. So in this case, it's going to be at the maximum rather. Sorry, that's exactly what you're saying. But let me redo that. So in this case, because it's at 1 point, it means it's going to be, if I can do it a bit better, it's going to be something like that. What you're saying. So we need to find the vertex form. Okay, so how do you find vertex form? Have you guys learned about completing this?
Yeah. First thing,
Okay,
take the
so
middle, that the x is -1. We can just put a negative sign outside the bracket and treat it as 1. Next, we take the half of the middle term, square it, and add it at the end.
Exactly. Okay, so there's let me teach you guys a shortcut. Another shortcut is you get negative b over a. So in this case, the negative b is remember ax squared plus b plus c. So negative 9 over a is -1. So that's 4.5. I mean, what am I saying? It's negative b over 2. So 2 times -1 would be -2. Okay, our answer is 4.5. That's just a shortcut for the x value. If you want to find the x value, you say you just do -b over 2a. So the x value is -b over 2a. So the y value will be f of x, or f of -b over 2a. So this is probably the quickest way. So we know that our x value is 4.5. So can you guys substitute 4.5 in your calculators real quick in the equation? I'm going to do the same thing right now. So negative 4.5 squared plus 9 times 4.5 minus 100. Okay, so the answer I found is negative 79.5. 7.75, sorry. Let me do this. Let me do that properly. Answer I found is negative 79.75. I convert that into a fraction to calculate, you realize that the answer is C. Right? Or you can complete the square like Audin just said. So you get the half of that. You can put the negative out if you want. So we're gonna have x squared minus 9x plus 100, and then we do that. Then we get half of 9, which is 4.5. So x minus 4.5 squared. And then we subtract that. 4.5 squared is 20.5. So minus 20.25 plus 100 is going to be x minus 4.5. 100 minus 20.25 is 79.75. This is a positive. But remember, there is that negative outside. So we have negative x minus 4.5 squared minus 79.75, which is the same as 319 over 4. So our answer is C. Is everyone okay?
Yes, sir, but you lost me on how we got the answer on the first way, sir.
Oh, in the first way? Okay. So the first way is, okay, but you understand the second way, right? Like your way, the way you did it, you're okay with that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you're okay with that, then that's okay. But for the first way, whenever you've got an equation and you want to find the x value of the vertex, this is a formula. Just get negative b over 2a. So if you've got it's just I mean, we can get into why this is. It goes back to completing the square. I can show you how this comes about if you want to. But the shortcut is you can know that x is going to be equal to negative b over 2a, and then the y. For you to find the values, if you already got if you go back in the original equation, since you got the x value, just substitute that x value in the equation, and that's going to give you a y value. F of x is equal to y. So in this case, if you do negative b over 2a, because remember quadratic is x squared plus bx plus c. So negative b over 2a will be negative 9 over 2 times 1, which is the same as over negative 2 times negative b is b over negative 2a rather. It's b over 2a or negative b over 2a. So we have b, which is 9, and 2 times a is negative 1. So to become negative 2. And then our answer is 4.5. Is that okay so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it's just we just need to know that our x value is going to be negative over 2a. Like that's and the reason why it's that way is because of completing the square. So if you want to, after we're done with the paper, if you want to, we can complete the square. We can complete this square and come up with it so that you see why. But this is what's going to happen. So if you had to complete this square, you're going to probably end up with x plus b over 2a squared minus whatever the y value is, it's going to be here, or plus, that should be there. So which would be, I think, b squared over 4a squared or something like that. But we can look at that. So don't think too much into that. I'll just give you guys a shortcut that the x value is always going to be negative b over 2a. So negative, our b is 9. Our a is negative 1. So this is going to be negative 9 over negative 2, which is the same as 4.5. So we've got our x value. So since we have our x value, we're trying to find out our y value. So this is the x value. Negative b over 2a is the x value at the maximum or minimum. So it's the x value at the vertex, rather. We have 2 more questions. So this is the formula for the x value at the vertex. And then when you plug that into the equation, you get the y value at the vertex. So if we plug 4.5 and you get your calculator and plug in 4.5 into this equation, you're going to find out our answer is going to be negative 79.75. And that's the same as this. I hope that makes sense, Audie.
Yes, makes perfect sense. I thought that was the way.
Okay, yeah, and so I think it's a faster way, right?
Sure is.
Just do negative b over 2a, you find your x, and then you just plug it in, you find the y. But to be honest, just do whatever gets you the answer. All right, Jerome, I know you probably leaving us. We're left with 2 questions. You have to go. Thanks for coming still. Sure, you have a good one. All right, now let's wind up with the last question. So for each real number r, which of the following points lie on the graph of each equation in the xy plane for the given system? Okay, I'm gonna send a question like this. Let's see. Okay. So have you guys seen something? Have you noticed that these equations are the same? Imagine what happens when you multiply this equation by 5?
Yeah, you get the equation.
So in short, we're just trying to say for
There are
each
infinite
number.
solutions.
Sorry?
There are infinite solutions.
Exactly, the infinite solutions, right? So for each real number r, which of the following points lies on the graph of each equation in the xy plane of the given system? So we're trying to find, let's see. So for example, if I substitute, let's say r for x, it means whatever answer I find should be the same. Let me show you what I mean. Let's substitute r for x. So 2r plus 3y is equal to 7. Right? It means whatever answer I find here is going to be the same answer here. Whenever r, let's look at it. Let's make r the subject of the formula. We have 7 minus 3y. So it's going to be 7 minus 3y over 2. Right? Do we have any answer choice like that? We actually don't. No, we do. This is the same as 7 over 2 minus 3 minus 3y over 2. Right? Yeah. Hold up. Minus 3y over 2. Okay, so this is the same as 7 over 2 is positive. Oh, okay, no. That's different actually. That's different. These are different because this is 7. This is 3. This is 3y. That's 3r. So that's different. Okay, let's try to substitute. Let's try to substitute r for y instead, and let's see if we're going to get this. So we know that when our x is r, which is C and D. Let's look at C and D. When our x is r, we need a positive 7 over 2, but we need a negative 3y over 2. So that doesn't work. But let's try to substitute r for y this time. Instead of putting in for x, let's try to put it for y this time. This is probably the most difficult question we've seen here, but I mean, it's solvable. Let's try 3r. Okay, so let's solve for r. 7 minus 2x, and we divide by 3, So r is equal to 7 minus 2x over 3. which by the way is the same as this is the same as wait. 3r 7 minus 2x. Wait. I think I'm missing something here. Hold up. I think I'm missing something here. Give me a minute. Oh, okay. So we're doing the right thing, guys. Sorry. Let's back it up. We're doing the right thing. Let's back it up. Can anyone has anyone seen what's going on? The mistake I made.
What you asked?
Have you we didn't exactly make a mistake. Have you noticed? Okay, so first of all, we understand that the equations are the same, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's the first thing we need to do. We need to understand when we multiply this by 5, we have the same thing. So what I did the first time, and I don't know how it will begin during the so I'm just going to I'm going to do the same thing I did, just in case you guys go through my mindset. But basically what it means is for each number r, so if we substitute r for either x or for y, like if we substitute r for x, it means our answer should be either this one. You can see that x is r, and then it means our y should be this. If we substitute o, it should be this, either of the two. If we substitute y for r, like in this case, it means the answer should be b or whatever answer choice we get. But we need to substitute r for x, y, we should find one of these, because it says for each real number. So whenever we substitute r, whatever, we get, that's on this answer choice, basically. For any number r, we don't know what the value of r is. So the first thing that I did was I said let's substitute r for x, right? So x plus, I said let's put r there instead. That I did. So we ended up having 2r equal to 7 minus 3. R is equal to 7 minus let's substitute for y rather. Let's substitute for y real quick. Look what happens. Look what happens from here. Okay, so we have 3y is equal to 7 minus 2r. So our y value is going to be 7 minus 2r over 3. Okay, great. So this is the same as 7 over 3. If we split, this is the same as 7 over 3 minus 2r over 3. So what happens when y is 7 minus, okay, so there's no answer choice like that. We have 7 over 3 here, but the 2r over 3 is a positive. We found a negative. So that doesn't work, right? Doesn't work. But let's try to do this the other way around. Let's try to put the r for the y, which is most likely going to be our answer. Hopefully you guys can see this. This is probably the trickiest question I've seen here. So we have 2x plus 2y is equal to 7. So let's put our r for y. So let's make x a subject of the formula. If our r was y, what's our x going to be? So we have 7 minus 3r over 2, which is the same as 7 over 2 if we split it minus 3r over 2. So if our r was y, our x is 7 over 2 positive, and our minus 3r over 2, which is the same as this. Can you see that?
Understood,
So our
sir.
answer, okay, so our answer choice is B. So this is probably the trickiest question I've seen here so far. I don't know about you guys, but basically same for each real number r. So it means whenever we plug in r anywhere, you know, what's going to be our x value, what's going to be our y value. So if we plug in r for x, which is what we did, we find anything. So let's just try to plug in r for and when we plug in R for Y, we find out that our X is equal to this, which matches this, B. So answer B. And then finally, our last question. The perimeter of an equilateral triangle. So an equilateral triangle is basically a triangle with three sides that are equal 620 centimeters. So if we add this side plus this side plus this side, our total is going to be 624. So it means to find, I wrote 642. Well, so this is going to be 624. If I add all the sides, which means if 3x is equal to 624, it means what's the value of one side? We just do 624 divided by 3, which is 208, right? So it means we have 208 here, 208 there, 208 there. If it's an equilateral, it means all sides, all angles 60 degrees. And we've been told that the height is k root 3. Okay, so if we, okay, so height is going to be k root 3. Okay, so if we do that, it means, notice how this is now in half. So this is 104, this is 104, right? So it means now we have a, have you noticed something? We have a 3690 angle, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and if you guys remember something about 30-60-90s, if you've learned, you guys have learned about this, right?
Yes, sir. We have
So
the hypotenuse is 2x, the
there you
height
go.
is x, and the base is x root 3.
Okay, so the, oh, in this case, because my 30 degrees is here, so the shortest angle will be x here. The side opposite 60 is the one that's x root 3. Side opposite 60 is the one that's x root 3. And have you noticed something? They're trying to find the value of k. We've noticed that the value of k is just this times root 3. But we found out, we know that we've split this into half, and our value of x is 104. So it means the height is going to be 104 root 3, which means our k is just 104. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's pretty much it for the paper. I think I don't know. Looking at it, it looks like the new SAT is pretty. It looks pretty doable. This is my first time doing actual SAT new to SAT. Like I told you guys at the beginning. But yeah, it looks pretty. I think it looks pretty doable. I don't know what you guys think. I will upload this video on YouTube. I know we had a cut, so I'm going to put it as part 1 and part 2 just because we had some sort of a disruption. If I can merge the videos together, that would be great. I'll try to do that. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for attending to our time. I hope you guys have learned something. I hope you guys yes, sir. I hope you've seen that the SAT isn't as intimidating as it is. Take your time and just think of it. Just tell yourself it's not going to be hard. Look at it from different. I hope you've seen that there's multiple ways of solving the questions, and I hope you've learned something. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording right here.